Good morning everyone. Today we are going to cover Python set and Python dictionary. First of all, we will cover the Python set. A set is an ordered collection of items. A set is an unordered collection of items. Every element is unique. It means that there will be no duplicate. For example, if you have a set, if you have a set and suppose you have a set, so set are generally created by using curly braces. So if you have a set and if you try to put a duplicate element in it, for example, if you try to put one twice in the set, then it will not be accepted. All the duplicate item will be removed. So every element is unique in the set. There is a no duplicate. It is unordered collection. It means that if you try to store the data in this fashion 1 2 3, then it is not necessary that the data will remain in this order only. If you try to print the set further, then there may be possible that the order of the data is changed. Sets are unordered element. Unordered means the ordering of the data in which you have stored the data is not maintained. Indexing have no meaning. It means that we cannot say that the first element is having index 0, the second element is having index 1. We cannot say like that, because there is no meaning of indexing, because the data is not ordered. The set doesn't maintain elements in any particular order. Every time you try to print the set S, suppose you write print S in the bracket, then you can see that the elements are printed in different order when you execute it different time. So for every execution you might see the different type of output or the same type of output. We cannot say that. It may change or it may not change. We cannot access or change the element of set using the indexing or slicing, because set does not support indexing. That's why slicing of the set is not possible. Slicing means dividing the bigger set into smaller set is not possible. Slicing is not possible. The set is mutable object. Mutable means we can change the set. We can change the set. It means that we can either add the element, we can delete the element without any problem. Mutable means changeable. It means that we can change the element whenever we want. Only instance of immutable type can be added to the Python test set. Only instance of immutable type can be added to the Python set. It means that in the Python set you can add list, you can add tuples. You can add tuples. You can add list with the help of tuple. Because tuple are immutable, we cannot change the tuple. So only instance of immutable type object are accepted in the set. It means that when you try to create a set using the tuple, then it is possible. When you try to create a set using the what we can say list, then you have to first use the tuple. You cannot directly add the list into the set. A set cannot have mutable element like list, set itself and the dictionary. It means that a set cannot contain a list, a set and a dictionary in it. It can contain the tuple. Tuple is immutable, so we can add the tuple inside the set. There is no problem. So whatever the mutable objects are there, like list is mutable, set is mutable, dictionary is mutable. So these element cannot be the part of set. If you want to make them a part of set, first you have to convert them into tuple so that they becomes immutable, then only you can add them. A set is created by placing all the item elements inside the curly braces. We already know that we use the curly braces separated by comma. Or we can simply use a built-in function called set. There is a function called set which is used to create a set. Whenever you want to create a set, you can call this function set. For example, I am calling set. And inside that I can pass some parameter 1 2 3, whatever the element I want to keep it, and then I can write s. There is no problem. In this way we can create a set, or if we can simply write s equal to, in the curly braces I can give the parameters. So both are okay. Okay, both are okay. Either you place the element inside the curly braces separated by comma, or you can use simply the set function available to create the set. Okay, it can have any number of items and they may be of different types. It means that a set allow us to have different type of data types such as integer, float, tuple, string. Okay, tuple is allowed because it's a immutable. String is also allowed. Okay, now let us see how to create a set. If you want to create a set, simply you can give the any set name, whatever the name you want to give. Always remember that set does not allow duplicate because all the elements are unique. All the elements are unique in the set. That you have to always remember. Elements are unique inside the set and does not allow duplicate. Okay. It has no ordering, no indexing, no 0, no 1 here, no indexing is here. Okay, elements can be in any order. Okay, so I want to create a set, so I have written my set is equal to in the curly braces 1 2 3. So set has been created. If you want to see it, you can print it. In the output you will get like this. Okay, then I want to say create a set of mixed data type. Okay, here the data type is integer only. I want to mix it. Okay, so that is also okay, we can do that. So first data type is 1.0, which is a float, then we have a string, and then we have a tuple. This is what tuple, you can see this is what tuple. So tuple is allowed inside the set. We know that because tuple is what, tuple is immutable, we cannot change the tuple. Okay, so immutable objects are allowed. Okay, so we are printing here, you can see the set in the output. Okay, again creating a simple set with the numbers. Here you can see that we are trying to put the duplicate values here. Okay, 2 is repeated and 3 is also repeated. Now you will say that, sir, you have told me that we cannot repeat the values in the set, then how come you are writing like this? So the answer is you can add them, there is no problem, but compiler will remove it, they will not accept it. Okay, so duplicate will be removed automatically by the Python. Okay, you cannot you can keep it, but the compiler or the Python will delete it automatically, remove the duplicates. That is the main role of set. Set does not allow any duplicate. Okay, now if you want to create a set from a list, suppose I want to create a set from a list, then what I can do? Okay, so that is allow, we can pass the list. Okay, we can pass the list, okay, as a parameter into a function set to create the set. Okay, so I am passing 1 2 3 2. 2 is repeated again, so 1 2 will be ignored by the compiler. 1 2 3 will be the part of the set, my set. Then I am printing the my set, I am getting 1 2 3. Okay, one more thing you have to keep in mind here. Again I am saying that we cannot add a list as a element into the set. That was right. Okay, and this is also right. There is a difference in between that. When I say that we cannot add any tuple as element, it means that writing like this is not allowed. Okay, this is not allowed. We cannot add tuple as a element of set. Okay, we cannot add list, we cannot add list as a element of this particular set S. Okay, this is a set and this is what, this is a list. Okay, so list cannot be one of the element of the set. Okay, but if you want to create a new set from any given list, then it is possible. Just like here, I am having one list here. Okay, this is a list and I want to create a set. So I can use the set function, and from the list I can create the set. Okay, so this is not allowed, but this is allowed. Okay, keeping the list as one of the member in the set is not allowed. However, creating a set from the list using set function is allowed. Okay, now moving on. Initialize with the curly braces. Okay, initialize with the curly braces. This is very important. as far as set is concerned, this is very very important. Okay, you have to always keep in mind. If you want to create an empty set, then writing like this is not allowed. Writing like this is not allowed, because empty set can be created only using this set function. Can be created only using the set function. This is right, but this is not right, because when you try to print the type of this a, then the compiler, the Python will show you this is not a set. It will say that it is a dictionary. Okay, because dictionary also uses the curly braces, set also uses the curly braces. Compiler might get confused that which one is a empty set and which one is a empty dictionary. So by default, whenever you try to create any empty set, then compiler will treat it as a empty dictionary. Okay, and if you want to create an empty set, then you must use a set function. Okay, you must use set function. Direct initialization of empty set is not allowed, and if you do so, it will be treated as a dictionary. Okay, so here you can see that when I am printing the type of a first time, so it will show the data type of a. Data type of a is dictionary. Okay, and the type of a here is what? Set, because I am using the set function. Okay, so if you want to create an empty set, you must use the set function. If you try to create the empty set using the curly braces, then it becomes a dictionary. Okay, now the next topic is frozen set. What is frozen set? Okay, what is frozen set? A set which cannot be changed later is called as a frozen set. A set which cannot be changed after its creation is called as a frozen set. Okay, so let us understand. This is a normal set I am creating using the list. Okay, so I am using a list of strings to create a set using the function set. So set has been created. The name of the set is normal set. Adding an element to the normal set. Okay, so I am trying to add one of the element to the normal set, so I am using add function. If you remember, in case of list, which function we use to add the element? We use the append function, or we can use the insert function to add element into the list. But if you want to add some element in the set, we are using what? Add function. So every data type may have different functions. For example, every list is having different set of functions. Some functions may be similar, some function may be dissimilar. Okay, so here if you want to add any element into the set, we are using the add function in place of append and insert. These functions are used inside the list. Okay, and they might be used in the tuple as well, but in case of set, we have different function called add. Okay, so I am writing here add, and in the double quotes I am providing the new value which I want to add. Okay, now I am printing the normal set. Okay, I am printing the normal set. When you create any set, okay, which is called as a frozen set, so you have to call the function frozen set. Frozen means a set which cannot be changed after its creation. So I am creating one frozen set using the function frozen set. Okay, and I am passing list as a parameter. So list is passing as a parameter. This is a list. Okay, this is what? List, which is having 3 element E, F, G, and I am passing this as a parameter. This parameter will be taken. And the frozen set will be created. The name of frozen set is frozen underscore set. This is the name of the frozen set, and this is the function name. Okay, using which we are trying to create the frozen set. Once the frozen set is created, we are trying to print it. Okay, we have printed it, and then I am trying to add some element in the frozen set. So what will happen in this case? We will get the error. Why we are getting the error? Because it is a frozen set and we cannot change it, and here I am trying to change it. That's why we are getting the error. Okay, so you have to always keep in mind that set can be modified. Normal set can be easily modified. It can be changed. We can add the element in the normal set. But in case of frozen set, adding the elements are not allowed, deleting the elements are not allowed. This is a special type of set. Okay, this is a special type of set. Now let us take some of the methods which are widely used in the set. The first method is add. Method means what? Method means function. Okay, method means function. So function has many names: method, function. Both these names are used. Okay, so the first function is as function, add function. What is the purpose of add function? It add the element, it add the element to the set. So this is a set of people having three elements: Jay, Idris and Archil. These three people are there, and I want to add Dakshit. Okay, so I can add them easily. I can add them easily. Okay, I can add them easily using add function. Okay, so once I add the once I call this function, this element will be added into the what we can say people set. Okay, next function is union function. Next function is union function. It will return a union of two set. It will return the union of the two set. Okay, and the same operation we can perform using the logical OR operation. So either you perform the logical OR operation or you perform the union operation. Both are okay. Both are okay. So we have two sets here: people and vampire. Karan and Arjun are vampires, and Jay, Idris and Archil are what we can say they are the people. Okay, so I am trying to perform the union. Okay, so for union we have a function union. Okay, for union we have a function union, so I am calling the function on the people. People dot union, there is a dot operator that must be given there. People dot union, and then I am passing vampire. So from the two set you can call the function on one set and pass the second set as a parameter. So this is a set 1 and this is a set 2. Okay, so I am calling the function union on the first set people, and I am passing the vampire, the second set, as a parameter into the function union. So it will produce a union. Okay, and the same result can be obtained using the OR operation. Okay, and the result will be stored into a new set called population. A new set called population. The same thing we can achieve using this operator. So in place of union function we can also use this operator OR operator. Okay, so population is having the union result of both these sets. Okay, so as we know that in case of union method, when we perform the union of two sets, then what will happen? In the output, the population set will have the element of both the sets. The element of both the sets. Okay, so the population will have Jai also, this also, this also, this also, and this also. Next function is a intersect function. Intersect function is used to perform the intersection onto the two sets. Okay, it is similar to the AND operation. Union is similar to AND operation. Union is similar to OR operation. Union is similar to which operation? OR operation. And intersection is similar to which operation? AND operation. Intersection is similar to AND operation. Similarly, we have this difference method which is similar to minus operation. Okay, so let us talk about intersect first. The intersect method is used to perform the intersection onto the two sets. Okay, so it will try to give you the common result, the common elements which are there in the sets. Okay, so we have a one set called people and the other set is called vampire. So I am trying to find the intersection between them. So I am calling the function intersection. Okay, so when we call this function, we are getting the result into the victim. The victim will have the elements which are common in both the sets, people and vampire. So what are the common element in them? The common element in them is nothing is common, people and vampire. All the elements are different. So we get a empty set here, victim. Okay, the same operation we can perform using the AND operation. Okay, Next operation is difference operation. It will find the difference between the two set. For example, a set 1 2, there is one set which is having 3 element 1 2 3, and there is another set having only 1 and 2, having only 1 and 2. So what the intersection method do? It will find the common element. So if you perform the intersection onto these two, it will give you what? 1 and 2 in the output. 1 and 2 in the output. When 1 and 2? When you perform the intersection operation. ठीक है? When you perform the intersection operation, then you will get 1 and 2. But when you perform the difference operation on this set, what we will get in the output? We will get 3. We will get the 3. Why we will get 3? Because 3 is the only element which are not common in them. So which is common, that you will get into the intersection. Which is common, that you will get into the intersection. Which is not common, that you will get in the difference. Okay, so here we have a new set called safe. Inside the safe we are storing the difference between people and vampire. So if this is a people and this is a vampire, so difference between them will be a 3. Okay, so that you will get in the output. So safe will have all the elements that are in the people but not in the vampire. Okay, so all the elements that are in the people but not in the vampire, so these two will be cancelled. Okay, next method is called as a clear method. So this method is basically used to make any set empty. So suppose you have a method, you have a set and you want to delete all the elements of the set, then you can simply call the clear function onto that set. It will clear the set. Okay, so no element will remain in that set. Next function is remove function. Okay, so remove function only removes the given element from the set. Okay, and it will not return any value. If you try to delete an element which does not exist, in that case you will get the error. Which is called as a key error. Key error means there is no element available and you try to delete that, then you will get the key error. Okay, so the remove function is used to delete a specific value, okay, given element. Okay, for example, we have a set here language. We have a from this language set we are trying to remove the German. Okay, so I am writing language dot remove and then I am writing German. Okay, so the specific this German will be only deleted from this set. Okay, only German will be deleted from this set. Okay, getting my point? So the operated language set will be what? That will contain English and French only. Okay, now one more interesting thing about the set is that we can copy the set from one set to another set very easily. For example, we have a set called numbers which contain the element 1 2 3 4, and I want to copy this set into another variable. Then I can simply write the new variable name and I can write this set name, and the elements will be copied easily. Okay, so we can transfer the element from the numbers to new numbers, okay, very easily by simply applying the assignment operator here. So assignment operator is used to copy the element, okay, in the set. Okay, but there is a problem associated with this set. If you try to do this operation like copying the set, then if you modify this set, then this set will be also modified. Why it happens? Because there is a concept of memory. Let me explain you here. Suppose this is a set number available in the memory somewhere, and this is a set here, and data is stored 1 2 3 and 4. Data is stored inside the memory, and this is a number set. Okay, and the address is pointing to this particular memory location, the whole memory location. Okay, now there is another set called new numbers. this is here new numbers, and you are trying to copy the reference here, address of numbers. So this is the numbers which is holding the address of memory location. Suppose this is a memory location whose address is 5000, and this 5000 is holded with the variable number. Okay, so and that is why it is pointing to this memory location and accessing the element 1 2 3 4. Okay, now you are sharing this address with the new variable called new numbers. So once the new numbers is having the value 5000, it will also point to the same memory location. Okay, so when you modify the first numbers, when you modify the first set numbers, suppose you delete 2, okay, then what will happen? Then what will happen if you print this particular set using this variable, then you will also get the same result. If you try to print this set using this variable, then also you will get the same result. It means that if you try to copy the address of one set into others, so basically what happens internally, the reference address of the memory has been copied here, and both the variables are pointing to the same memory location. This is the memory locations, and both the variables are pointing to the same memory location because they share the same address. Okay, internally they share the same address because of this assignment operator, and due to that what is happening here, due to that both the variables are pointing to the same memory location, and if you try to modify the content of this memory location using this variable, then it will be reflected for this variable also. Okay, if you try to modify the data using this variable, then it will be reflected for this variable also, because memories are common for both the variables. Okay, so that is the issue. Okay, let us take the another example. For example, here you can see that we have a set called numbers 1 2 3 4, and we have copied it. Okay, so the address is held by both the variables. Okay, now I am adding one element in the new number. I am adding 5. Okay, I am adding 5 using new number, so 5 will also appear here. Still the address is 5000, which is holded by both the variable numbers and new numbers. So when I print numbers, then also will have 5 in the output. Okay, and when I print the list using new numbers, then also will have 5 in the output, because this modification is reflected for both the variables, because the same memory has been accessed by both the variables. So whenever we try to copy the set using the assignment operator, then actually internally what happens, the address of the memory location is shared between these two variables, and both the variables access the same memory location. So modification done at any variable, variable name will reflect the data, same data onto both the variables. Okay, that is the concept we have to remember all the time. Okay, if you want that if you don't want to, suppose if you don't want to, you want to copy the data from one set to another set, but you don't want to modify it. Okay, it means that you want to copy the data, but you want at the same time you want that this original list should not get changed if I try to change the new one. Okay, in that case we can use the copy function. In this case what will happen, a copy of data of this set will be taken from the memory, and the new memory will be allocated for the new variable. Okay, and this data will be copied from here to here. Okay, so one copy of data is available here, one copy of data is available here. So if you try to modify the data using this variable, then only this will be modified, this will remain unchanged. Okay, so let us understand this concept in more detail. Now we are trying to understand the copy method. Okay, so we have a set here which is having the data 1 2 3 4. Suppose it is somewhere in the memory. This is a number, this is what number is there. Okay, and there is a data 1 2 3 and 4. Now I am trying to copy the data from numbers, so I am calling the function numbers dot copy. I am calling a function copy onto numbers. So the data from this place 1 2 3 4 will be copied and the new memory will be allocated 1 2 3 and 4. So suppose the address here is 5000, so it will have different address, suppose it will be 6000, and the same data will be reflected at both the place because of copy function. Okay, copy function allow us to create a new memory and copy the data from the existing. The data has been copied from here to here, so one copy is maintained here, one copy is maintained here. Now I am doing the modification here on the new numbers. So this is what, this is our new numbers, this is our new numbers. Okay, so I am doing addition here, add 5. So I am adding one element here 5. Okay, so when I adding element here 5, it is having different address. So new address, new numbers is having different address, and numbers is having different address, numbers having this address. Okay, so when I doing modification here, then only this copy will be modified, this copy will not be modified. Okay, when I print the numbers, I will get this data. When I print the new numbers, I will get this data. So when I print the numbers, I am getting 1 2 3 4. When I am printing the new numbers, then I am getting 1 2 3 4 5. The new element has been added here, not here. Okay, so copy method allow us to copy the data from existing set without changing the set, in future if we do any other operation on the newly created set. Okay, next function is called as update function, update method. Okay, what is the purpose of update method? If you want to update an existing set, update an existing set by adding a new set to it, then you can use this method, update method. Okay, then you can use the update method. Okay, for example, let us take an example on this for better understanding. Suppose we have a set A here which has two elements A and B. There is another set which is having three elements 1 2 and 3. Okay, three elements are there in the B and two elements are there in set A. Now I am writing A dot update and I am passing B as a parameter. Okay, I am writing A dot update and passing B as a parameter, and then I am printing A. Finally you can see that all the elements of B are added in A, Okay, so you can see here when I printing A, then I am getting 1 2 3 which are the element of B. Okay, 1 2 3, and then I am getting AB as well. Okay, by mistake 4 is appearing here, 4 is not the part of this set. Okay, so when we perform the update method, okay, when we use the update method, then we are able to transfer the data from one set to another set. Okay, so I am calling function update on A, so I am getting result into A. If I call the function update onto B, then the whole data will be available in B only. Okay, so in that case we need to print here B to see the whole output. Okay, so you have to remember on which set you are calling the function. If you are calling the update function on A, then the whole data will be available on A, with A. If you are calling the function on B, then the whole data will be available on B. Okay, now let us take another data structure in the Python, which is dictionary. This is very important topic, and this is something similar but something new. Okay, it is similar to the list, tuple and set, but it is something new. Okay, because dictionary is having the value always stored in this format, key value pair, key and then colon and then value. Okay, this format is used to store the data into the dictionary. So suppose this is a dictionary is also created using the curly braces. Then you will say that, sir, how we can differentiate between dictionary and set when both are using the curly braces? So the difference is here with you. Dictionary contain the data always in the key value format. Sir, what is key, what is value? Key is what you can say, key is what your variable name, and value is what your value of the variable. Like that you can understand. For example, I want to store the name of some student, age and class. So name is what? Variable name which is holding the value Zara. Okay. Age is what? Variable name which is holding the value 7. Class is what? Variable name which is holding the value first. Okay. So key is what? You can say it's a variable name. It's a variable name. Okay. For your understanding, you can say that it's a variable name which holds some value. Variable name holds some value. Variable name holds some value. Okay. So dictionary is always storing the data in the form of key value. Okay. If there is a no key, if there is a key, there must be a value. If there is a value, there must be a key. Okay. No duplicate keys are allowed. Okay. No duplicate keys are allowed. Keys are always unique with the dictionary. Okay. Keys are always unique in the dictionary. However, values may be repeated. For example, the first key is name. So name key will never appear in this dictionary. Okay. However, if I say age is 1 and class is 1, then it is fine, because keys are different. The values may be same or may not be same. So value may be same for two different keys, but key will be always unique. So a dictionary will always have unique key name. If a key name appearing here, then it will never appear further in the future in this dictionary. However, it can appear in the another dictionary. Okay. So a dictionary keys are always unique. Element may be unique or may not be, value may be unique or may not be unique. That depends on the situation. Okay. Now let us see how to access the data from the dictionary. Okay. If you want to create the dictionary, it is very simple. Just write the dictionary name. Any name you can use, A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, P, Q, or whatever the variable name you want to use, you can use it here. Then equal to operator, then curly braces, and then give the value in the key value format. And one more thing you have to always remember with reference to dictionary, key name and the value name. Okay. Key name and the value name are written in the single quote. Okay. Are written in the single quote. In the previous example also you can see that keys and values are written in the single quote. Only the numbers are not using the single quote. Rest, if it is a string, there must be a single quote or a double quote. Okay. For general purpose, you can remember that we are using the single quote. Okay. And single quotes are equivalent to double quotes in the Python, you know that. Okay. So always the key name are in the single quote. It is fixed. Okay. And if there is a string, it must be in the what we can say single quote. But other type of data does not require the single quote. So let me very clear. Key are always written inside the quotes. Values may be written inside the quotes or may not be. That depend on the type of data. If the values are a string, then it should be given the quotes. If it's not a string, then there is no need of quotes for value. Okay. But key must be always in the quotes. And after key you must put the semicolon, so that we can make the pair, key value pair. Okay. So here I am trying to print the only name from this dictionary. So I will write dictionary, then in place of index I can write the name, which is a key. So whenever I want to print any value from the dictionary, I have to use the key name. In place of index number, I am using key name in the dictionary. In dictionary we are not using the index number. Here we are using what? Key name. Similarly, I want to print the age, so I will be writing name of the dictionary, and then inside the square bracket, in place of index I will be giving what? The key. So I am passing the key here, and it will print the value. So it will print Zara and 7. For the name it will print Zara, and for the age it will print 7. Okay. Now let us assume that you don't know the content of any dictionary and you are trying to access the elements from the dictionary. Okay. And you are not sure that the key and value pair is existing in that dictionary or not. In that case, what will happen? If you try to access the keys which are not there in the dictionary, in that case you can get the error. Okay. In that case you can get the error. For example, what I am doing here you can see there is a dictionary. okay, same dictionary is there, okay, and I'm trying to print a data from the dictionary whose keys is alias, okay. So there is no such key called alias here in this dictionary. Alias is not present, alias key is not present. So in that case, what I will get? I will get the error, okay. Which error I will get? I will get the key error, okay. So always we have to remember, you can access only those values whose keys are present inside the dictionary. And in dictionary, in place of index numbers, we are using what? We are using the key name. Now let us take an example on how to update the dictionary. For example, there is a name Zara, age 7, class first, okay. This dictionary is already available for us, and I am trying to update the age of Zara. So last year she was of 7 years, now she is of 8 years. I am trying to update the entry. So how we can do that? We can simply write the dictionary name, okay. Okay, then after that, inside the square bracket, okay, we can give the key name. Is age, so I can write age and then equal to with, and then provide the new value, okay. Because of this, this will be updated to a new value. Semicolon is not required, okay. Now moving on. Similarly, I want to add a new entry. Into the dictionary. Means there is a key name, age and class. I want to add a new key value pair here in the dictionary. So how we can do that? Simply we can write the dictionary name, write a new key name, whatever the key name we want to add, and then I can provide the value. So this is the value, and this is what? The new key with new value, and that will be added into the dictionary, okay. So you can see here I am trying to print the data. I am printing the age. So when I print the age, I will get 8 in the output, okay. Then I am printing the SQL, the key value, okay. So key name I am providing here. I am providing the key name here, and this is what? This will give you the value, okay. So I am getting DPS school in the output, okay. And this was a new entry added after the creation of dictionary. So we can modify the dictionary after its creation. It's a mutable object, we can modify it, but we have to remember that we have to provide both the values, key and values, both we have to provide, okay. Now let us see how to work with the dictionary, how to delete the element from the dictionary, okay. So here again the same example, we have the dictionary here, and also just like previous section we have seen in the tuples and the list, we are using the del statement. To delete the tuple. Similarly, we can use the del statement to delete one of the key. For example, in this dictionary I am trying to delete this entry name and Zara, okay. I am trying to delete it. So what I will write? Del, then dictionary name, and then in the bracket I can give the key which I want to remove, okay. So if you want to remove a specific key, then you have to provide the dictionary name. In the bracket you can provide the key name, and in front of that you can use the del keyword. Del is used for delete, okay. So in that case particular key and value will be removed, okay. But if you want to remove all the entries in the dictionary, you want to make the dictionary as an empty dictionary, in that case you can use the clear function. You can write dict dot clear function, okay. So you can use the clear function to clear the elements, okay. You can use the clear function to clear the elements from the dictionary, okay. So if you use the clear function, then the all key and value pair will be deleted, and empty dictionary will be remaining in the output, okay. Now let me clarify you with the differences. There is a third example in which we are deleting the entire dictionary, so you might get confused in between them. So let me clarify it. If you want to delete a single key value pair, then use del, then dictionary name, and inside the bracket give the key name, okay. If you want to empty the string, empty the dictionary. Empty the dictionary means you want to make the dictionary like this, dict and then opening closing curly braces with no element in it. Okay, then you can use the clear function. Okay, remove all the entries in the dictionary. But if you want to delete this also from the memory, if you want to delete this also from the memory, this also from the memory, means there is no existence of such dictionary in the memory, then we are using del and then dictionary name. So it will delete the entire dictionary. Entire dictionary means not even an empty dictionary is there in the memory. There is no such dictionary available in the system if I do this operation. Okay, it will delete the entire dictionary, not even a empty dictionary will remain present. If I use only this, then dictionary will remain present but there will be no element in the dictionary. If I use only this, then certain element will be deleted only, rest of the element will remain present in the dictionary. Okay, now let us see some of the properties of the dictionaries. Okay, so first thing we have to keep in mind that dictionary values have no restriction. So we can add Python object, okay, standard object, user defined object, or any type of object as a dictionary values. Okay, in the dictionary, in place of values we can add any kind of object. Okay, but for keys any kind of objects are not allowed. Okay, so let us focus on the some of the properties. Okay, more than one entry per key is not allowed. Okay, it means that for one key there is only one value entry. Okay, more than one value entry is not, more than one entry per key is not allowed. It means that more than one value we cannot supply for the same key. This is key and this is what value. So for one key there is only one value. Okay, duplicate keys is not allowed. Okay, we cannot use the same key again in future here inside this same dictionary. Okay, if you try to do so, if you try to use the duplicate keys, then what will happen? When duplicate key encounters during the assignment, the last assignment win. It means that if you try to do so like this, if you are writing dict, okay, if you try to write dict name, okay, and dict, and inside this we have a name, suppose, and I'm trying to assign some new name Raju, and later I'm in again I'm writing the same statement dict name. Okay, and I'm this time I'm using some other word like Mohan. So in this case the last assignment will be in, it means that this will be stored inside the memory and this will be lost. Okay, so if you try to modify the same key twice, okay, in this case last assignment will be considered. Okay, here you can see that we have the dictionary with two keys having the same name here and name here also. So in this case this is ignored completely and this is considered. This is what considered. Okay, this is what considered, because so either you do this kind of operation or you do this kind of operation. In both the cases you will see that the last assignment wins. It means that this will be considered because there is a duplicate key name here and this will be ignored by the compiler. So when you print the name using the printf statement, you will get this in the output. Okay, next properties, key must be immutable. Key must be immutable, which means you can use string, you can use numbers, or you can use tuples as dictionary keys. Okay, we can use string as a what key, we can use number as a key, we can use tuple as a key. Okay, but we cannot use set as a key. Getting my point? So let us take an example. Okay, so I'm creating one dictionary and this is what the tuple, this is what the tuple is there. Sorry, this is what this is what the list is there. Okay, this is what the list square bracket is used for list. Okay, so we are using the list here. Okay, and then this is what we are making it as a key, and this is what value. So as we know that it allow only string, numbers and tuple as a key, and we are providing here list, so it will give you error, type error, it will give you type error, and it will say that list is not allowed. Okay, so these are the properties of dictionary keys which we have to remember. First thing we have to remember, more than one entry per key is not allowed. Duplicate key is not allowed. If you insert the duplicate key, then the last value will be taken always. Okay, and it allows only string, numbers and tuples as a key. Now let us see some of the built-in function made for dictionary. First function is len. Okay, so if you want to find the length of any dictionary, you can use the len function and pass the dictionary name as a parameter, so it will give you total length of the dictionary. Okay, so it will be equal to number of items in the dictionary. Next we are calling the function, we are having the function str. Okay, and then I am writing here, I am passing the dictionary as a parameter. Okay, so what it will do, it will print the string representation of dictionary. Okay, it will produce a printable string representation of a dictionary. Okay, so it will convert the whole dictionary into a equivalent string. Okay, next is type. Type function is there. Okay, return the type of past variable. If the past variable is dictionary, then it will return a dictionary type. Type function is very useful, and we have already seen the use of this type function. If you have any list or tuple or dictionary and you want to know whether it's a list or tuple or dictionary, so we can call the type function and pass that. Okay, either you can pass the dictionary or you can pass any other collection. It means that we can pass tuple also, we can pass list also, we can pass set also, and it will tell you what kind of collection it is, whether it is a set, whether it is a list, whether it is a dictionary, whether it is a tuple. Okay, so type function is used to determine the data type of any collection. Okay, the collection may be of any type. Okay, now some more functions, okay, on dictionaries. Okay, the first function, this function already we have seen, this clear function, remove all element of dictionary. Copy function, return a shallow copy of dictionary without changing the original copy. If any modification is done on the shallow copy, then it will not reflect on the original copy. Then third one, dict from keys. Okay, create a new dictionary with keys from sequence and values set to value. It means that we can create a new dictionary which will have the same key value as in the dictionary which is passed as a parameter here. Suppose we have one dictionary like D1 is there already created, some dictionary is already created. Okay, and I want to create D2 which should have the same number of keys and values. Then I can use this function from keys. Okay, I can use the function, and what will happen, I will pass D1 as a parameter into this function. So what will happen, it will import all the keys from D1 into D2. Okay, create a new dictionary with the keys from this D1 sequence means original dictionary D1 and values set to value. Okay, and accordingly the values will be set. Okay, now another, we are calling the function get, dictionary dot get. So get function is so what it will do, it will return the values for given key. For example, we have the key called name, and I am passing this calling the get function onto certain dictionary D. Okay, and I am passing name as a key here, so it will give you the value of that particular key. So get function is used to get the value of certain key of certain dictionary. Okay, now we have item functions. Okay, it returns a list of dictionary key value pairs, tuple pairs. Okay, so if you have a dictionary, and you want to create a tuple from that dictionary, in this format, like I want to create a tuple in this format, like name, and after name actual name is there Raju. In this format, if I want to copy the data from the dictionary, then this function is use items, which will copy the content of dictionary in key value format, which will be having the parenthesis, okay, round bracket, and that's why it is treated as a tuple. Okay, next function is keys function. It returns list of dictionaries keys. Okay, list of dictionary keys. So if you call this function on dictionary, any dictionary, then what it will return? It will return a list of keys. Okay, for example, there is a dictionary in which we have two keys, name and roll number, and if I call this function, then it will return a list in which the first element will be name and the second element will be roll number. However, this two was the keys inside this dictionary. Okay, so this function can easily create a list of keys from a given dictionary. Moving on, the next function is set default. Okay, so this function will set a particular key to its default value. Okay, to its default value. The default value of any key is none. Okay, the default value is of any key is none. Next, update function is there. Okay, if you want to add the content of any dictionary into another dictionary, we can simply use the update function. It adds dictionary dict to key value pair to the dict. It means that it will add the content of dict2 into dict. Okay, so suppose you have two dictionary D1 and D2. You want to transfer the content of D2 into D1. In that case, you can call the function D1 dot update ब्रैकेट में D2. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा, ये ट्रांसफ़र हो जाएगा. ठीक है, D1 dot update in bracket D2. Okay, then in the last we have the function dict dot values. Okay, you can easily guess it will return a list of values, just like this function. Just like this function, it returns what? List of keys of the dictionary. Similarly, it will return what? List of values. For example, there is two keys, name is name and roll number. Name is Raju and roll number is 1. So what it will return? This function will return name and roll number, but this function will return what? Raju and 1. Okay, it will return the list of values, it will return the list of keys. Okay, thank you for today. My session is over. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. See you soon in the practice session.